It's been dubbed the Florida Shuffle. Drug addicts from across the country have been lured to the Sunshine State for decades with the promise of treatment.
KPIX5's Susie Steimle found out addicts are now being paid to come to California. It's a process that's known as body brokering.
Ken and Liz, many addicts have overdosed and even died in the process of being brokered to California. We talked to a father who lost his son earlier this year, who was offered money and free flights to come to a treatment center here. As Florida tightens its regulations, addicts say California is becoming the Wild West of rehab.
He called me when he was in treatment and started telling me about California.
Rich Strickling had a feeling something was up when his 22-year-old son, a recovering heroin addict, called to tell him he was planning to leave his treatment center in Florida for a new rehab facility in California. Days later, he got the call. Alex had OD'd and died in a motel room just a few miles from his rehab facility.
Somewhere I was building some type of wall, waiting for the day that it happened to my son, but nothing prepares you for that.
When he learned how it happened, the pain turned to anger.
There was somebody whispering in his ear.
Turns out a person Alex met in treatment was offering him money and plane fare to switch to a new rehab in Beverly Hills.
I had all the text messages after my son passed away.
Want to go to Cali, the person asks? I'll send you like 200 to get you established out there, and on top of that, you get 2 packs of smokes a day, haircuts, and gym. I'm pretty sure I'm down, Alex responds. Days go by. Then the messages get more urgent. What's the word, homie? You ready? Cali's calling your name. Then the person spells it out. Send me your insurance info, and I'll run it to get you approved. Send it tomorrow. I'll throw you the cash after 17 days, broski. I trust you. Let me get back to you tomorrow with my info, Alex responds. Finally, Alex sends his insurance information. Then, radio silence. Rich now knows why.
That same person that does that hard sell on you, they're going to tell you towards the end of that process that you have to fail your urine test in order for them to justify getting you into treatment.
It was that relapse that cost Alex his life.
The person who was trying to lure Alex to California is what's known in the industry as a body broker. Unethical treatment centers will pay former addicts kickback money if they bring them an addict with good insurance to their facility. They'll then run that addict's insurance for unnecessary testing and make millions.
Body broker, to use an indelicate word, is a pimp.
David Skinesny moderates a Facebook group called It's Time for Ethics in Addiction Treatment.
And most often those people will be bought and sold over and over and over. Including being paid to relapse oftentimes.
On it, he flags what he suspects might be unethical rehabs.
And I felt responsible because I was the sole reason the clients, I was bringing them in.
Greta Sudakum and Brandy Baca both responded to one such post about a rehab facility called UMNPA Treatment in Anaheim.
It was just like a flop house, basically. That's what it was.
The former employees and others we spoke with reported to authorities that the center was paying for patients.
And I really feel sorry for the people who are really there to get well.
They say while they were there was no credentialed clinical staff on location as required by law, and they say patients used drugs. Records show police responded to the center on calls concerning a near-death heroin overdose, possible meth use, battery, and an attempted suicide. The 2 former employees provided us a balance sheet with a line item for $341,000 for marketing. They believe that money was actually used to pay for clients.
We would never pay a client to come to treatment.
Indigo Allendorf is the treatment center's president.
One of the line items in UMNPA Treatment's budget is for marketing / referrals, and that this past year you guys spent about $341,000 on that. Who are you paying that money to?
We have a very reputable marketing firm that we pay a substantial monthly payment to.
Indigo gave us the name of the marketing company, but when we called, they'd never heard of UMNPA.
It's sort of like whack-a-mole, like one little bit of, one area of scamming is cracked down upon, and then the scammers find another way to exploit the sector.
Brad Lamb operates a treatment center in the Hollywood Hills. He says there are so many bad actors, operators like him, who refuse to pay for clients, are struggling to stay open.
You wonder how in the world do people sleep at night preying on this vulnerable sector.
Victims' families have had a hard time sleeping too.
It's just that deafening echo of nothing, knowing that the phone isn't going to ring again.
Rich Strickling hopes by telling Alex's story, he can prevent another addict from being brokered here and prevent another parent's heart from being broken in the process.
Governor Brown just signed a new law that outlaws patient brokering in the treatment industry. So if caught, a treatment center would be fined and could lose its license. But that is a lot less strict than Florida's law that makes it a felony. And catching people in the act of body brokering is tough, as it's usually done at unethical treatment centers and goes unreported.
This is really interesting because really the scam going on here is against the insurance companies.
Yeah.
So these so-called treatment centers are really bilking them for sometimes unnecessary treatment. What are they actually getting for their money, these insurance companies?
So that is a big part of the story that we've yet to get to. One of the biggest things these treatment centers do is they will partner with a urine lab. They then perform unnecessary urine tests that can run for $10,000 a week. They actually call it in the industry liquid gold. That is something that we are continuing to look into, and we will have a follow-up story.
It's just despicable because these people are going to these places trying to get help, trying to get better, trying to save their lives. They're being taken advantage of.
And they're extremely vulnerable.
Yes.
Susie, thank you for that.